Hi. So I'll just jump right in. So the 1965 Hart-Celler Act, was passed in 1965, and it was supported by President Johnson on the basis that the previous national origin quotas were un-American because they were specifically race-based, which we had seen in previous lectures and readings, that all of the quotas were focused specifically on either Chinese, Japanese. Like, it said the name in the title, which makes it specifically race-based. So it ended these national origin quotas from the 1920s and it established per country limits of 20,000 per year, except for in the Western Hemisphere, which was given a total annual limit of 125,000 per year. And there was exemptions. For example, family members were exempt and they were allowed to come over and not be a part of that national quota. But, the article that was directly related to the reading I kind of thought was hilarious, but in an ironic sort of way. One of the first quotes that are mentioned in the article say that the people of Ethiopia have the same right to come into the United States under this bill as the people from England and a bunch of other white states. And then it says, with all due respect to Ethiopia, I don't know of any contributions that Ethiopia has made to the making of America. And I just think that kind of sums up just the whole white political perspectives on non-whites in America. It's like, what are they doing for us? And if they're not doing anything for us, then they have no place here. But, the president and many of the other supporters, they didn't really think that anybody who was not, European was going to come. Which was idiotic because according to that article in 1965, non-Hispanic whites comprised over 85% of that population, and 50 years later, that is just falling and falling and falling. I don't know what it is now, but we could probably Google it. But this kind of exemplified, the ramifications of this exemplified, the idea of nativism kind of rearing its head in the Republican Party. And one quote that I thought was perfectly well said was that had the GOP focused more on ideology and less on skin color, the party could have thrived from the immigration influx, but they did not. And another ramification of this act was that a few years later, with the nomination of Goldwater and his defeat by Lyndon Johnson, showed that the Republican Party was perfectly okay with writing off 40% of their electorate or more, meaning that they did not give a single care to anybody who was not white, and they would just do what they did and hope that it worked out for them. There are many unintentional ramifications of the acts, and I think that one of the most of the ramifications was that it led to the increase of racial tensions within the country. But this volleying for non-white rights in America, it continued to light the spark for the Civil Rights Act and many other things. But, okay, thank you, bye.